Welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today I wanted to talk about the Ninetales Lockdown event and other future events that they'll have in the game. If you didn't know, Ninetales Lockdown is an event that's going on in 3.14.1, which is the patch we're in right now. They actually played it last night. So our org usually has big event nights that we do on Saturday nights. I think we had 25, 26, some odd members join. So thank you to everybody that participated in that. It was a lot of fun. We actually started the night off with some dogfighting, one team versus another. And then the Ninetales Lockdown event happened towards the end of those fights, those scenarios that we were playing out amongst ourselves. So it was a nice little transition to be able to move into this Ninetales Lockdown. Now, there's a couple different things you can do in the Ninetales Lockdown. First of all, you'll see my ship exploding here trying to do one of the things to do, which we'll get into in a minute. But firstly, the Ninetales Lockdown is a series of warnings that you get from the defense forces in Stanton saying that the Ninetales have moved in, they've locked down a station, and they need help scouting out, trying to find these ships that are causing this quantum lockout. So you'll fly out to that station. You can get within like 200 kilometers before you get pulled out of quantum interdiction. You have to manually fly to the station if you want to go to the station at all. If not, you can just join into the mission there, select the mission and go in, and then you have to go out to the scout areas or the scan areas and kind of wait until the scan ships find bad guys and defend the scan ships. That is most of the Ninetales Lockdown in a nutshell right there. Now, it does lead to a lot of combat opportunities. One of the things you can do, obviously, is combat. We'll get back to that in a second. But the other is going after these derelict ships, these starfarers, and collecting the cargo off of them, kind of like what you could do in Xenothreat, and taking those back to the station, hopefully for a big profit. I will tell you right now, the profit's not worth it. Don't even bother in this version of Ninetales Lockdown. It's just, you could get a whole ship starfarer load and still get 11, 12, 13,000 credits, and that's it. Stick with the combat. You're going to make more money in the end, especially if you have call to arms. It's just, the cargo is just not worth the time. Supposedly you're able to play this on the bad guy side. My group is a lawful group, so we haven't really tried the Ninetales side of things. Although I'm sure that could be a lot of fun, especially with other player characters flying around. But we did this from the lawful standpoint. We took it to them. We had a fairly organized group where we had a Retaliator on station that was fully crewed, a Hammerhead that was fully crewed, and then a few smaller fighters, mostly Hurricanes, that type of fighter, because it puts a lot of firepower downrange quickly. That would be my suggestion if you're going at this with a group, is to have something big like another Hammerhead, have a Retaliator to help finish things off with torpedoes, and have quite a few or several Hurricanes that you have turret gunners in. It's a very devastating ship. Now, I started this mission off in the 600i Executive Edition, and of course something happened while I was trying to help load cargo and the ship blew up. So I came back at it with a Freelancer Miss. I decided to put 4 Pyro Burst scatter guns on it, which is a little silly. It only has like an 800 meter range, but I felt like it was really effective in the end. I did a lot of damage up close and personal. Then when my Freelancer bit it, as you'll hear or see here in a moment, in a head-to-head flight competition with a dang Hammerhead, I decided that I would switch it up because I had somebody that wanted to fly as my turret gunner. So we grabbed a Hurricane and we took it out. And let me tell you, the Hurricane is a phenomenal little fighter in this event. It's perfect for 2 people, and you can put so much pain downrange. It's definitely worth taking if you've got one. It is a great little fighter. Now, it doesn't have much in the way of protection, but to be honest, nothing really challenged my shields that much. I did have another ramming incident that did some damage to my ship, which you'll see the accumulation of that damage at the end of the video. But I never really felt like we were being challenged by firepower from the enemy team. Maybe because I was pretty maneuverable. It also could be the fact that the AI is not super great right now in 3.14.1. You know, a hammerhead should provide a little bit more danger to smaller ships, but they may have been distracted by the bigger ones. I don't know. I didn't see very many missiles flying from the enemies. Actually, I don't remember once having a missile fly my direction, so I don't know if that's just turned off. I can tell you that the event ran really smooth all the way up until near the end, when the enemy swarm, if you want to call them that, of Ninetales came in. Like, there were so many hammerheads. I mean, there had to have been 10 hammerheads, 15 hammerheads. I don't know. There were a lot. And at that point, there was a lot of people other than our 20 some odd in our org that were participating. So we could have had the entire server in one spot, all fighting ships all at the same time. When that happens, you know, I recommend you stay away from fighting just the little ships. Go after the big ships first, clear them out, and once they're cleared out, you can go after the smaller ones. Because if you're trying to fight the smaller ones when there's so many people on, you're going to see some major desync in your game and some lag, and it's going to be an awful experience. So go after the big ships that are much harder to miss than some of the smaller ships, which are incredibly hard to hit when you're suffering from desync and lag. That is the biggest negative still, is that there is desync and lag in the game, and especially during the event. And we got through the entire event without a 30k or anything like that. Now, I did have a load screen issue where I died and I never loaded back in, so I had to reboot the game and get back in with my team, and I was able to get in and, you know, play. So that was the one issue I had. Now, we had other issues getting the entire org in at first, so there are some things that need to be fixed. Now, if you get through a good portion of this mission, at the end, along with all the hammerheads and stuff, they will spawn an enemy Idris, and you will have to take that Idris out. TexasSpaceNavy has never had a problem taking Idrises out. We didn't have a problem this time either. It was a lot of fun. Some people have never gotten to face them, so I was glad that they got that experience. Again, it was a lot of fun. The Idris really didn't present much of a challenge. Again, the AI is not in the best place, if you ask me, for 3.14.1. Maybe it's dialed down. Maybe it's it's just being overtaxed, which is probably the larger theory, especially with Orison being in the game now. That's my theory, is Orison's kind of breaking the AI a little bit. It's just too much for the server to handle. So either it was turned down, turned off, or it's just breaking down, and it's just not fantastic. So yeah, AI didn't pose much of a threat. You really had to worry about ramming into it or one of your teammates. So if you're taking on ships in this mission, make sure you're very organized and you're not running into each other, because that can be a quick end for a lot of people, and it'd be very frustrating for your group altogether when you take each other out because you aren't flying smart. So keep that in mind if you're taking this mission on. If there's a bunch of other people out there, fly safe and keep from ramming into one another, and you won't have any problems defeating the Ninetales. Other than that, I mean, I felt like it was a good event. It was really long. You know what I'd like to see is one of these events kind of take place over the span of days and rather than hours. And it's not what you're thinking. I don't want to be sitting here in a cockpit for multiple days and hours fighting. I just think that, you know, hey, you fight for 35, 45 minutes, and then they pop up again the next day, which is kind of what this event is. But, you know, I don't know. I do like that you could play it all in one session before the next Nine Tails locks down another station. But it just seemed like it took quite a while to bring down all these endless waves of hammerheads and enemy ships. I don't know. I haven't talked to my org mates much about what they felt, you know, as far as how long it was taking to do this mission. I'm sure some people were in the same boat as me, and some people probably felt like it was a good amount of time. You know, there's always going to be people from each one of those parts of the spectrum. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you have participated in Ninetales yet. If you've watched the full version of this video, like this is the edited version with my thoughts and take on the event. I do have a full-blown version of the Ninetales event. It's almost 2 hours long that you guys can go and watch. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. If you want to contribute to the channel, you can do that through my Patreon or YouTube members. That will be linked in the description down below, and everything that you guys contribute helps me out a ton, and I can't say thank you enough. You guys have been phenomenal to me, and thank you. So with that said, check out the damage that my ship suffered in all of that combat here. I lost a wing. There's a hole on the other side of the aircraft or spacecraft. Pretty large hole. There's two of them actually. It's rather gnarly. So yeah, I didn't get out unscathed, but this Hurricane did a phenomenal job. My turret gunner did a phenomenal job. So thanks to him. And yeah, make sure you check this event out. Future events are going to be fun. We're going to see another Xenothreat event happening on the 25th. That's Wednesday. So get your people together. I'm pretty sure my org is going to have a presence. If you want to join my org, you can actually apply down below. There's going to be a link in the description to the Gilded and to our spot on the RSI page. The org is Texas on the RSI page, and the Gilded is TexasSpaceNavy. So put in an application on both of those. You'll be able to join us on Wednesday night for the whole Xenothreat. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.